31031. The strength of 700 million men. Ho ho ho. It's all women. Brothers, give Lousy a shot. When the two pirate ships approached, they saw that the Xiaoyao pirates were full of women. The pirates on the Ochako pirate ship are completely excited. All the pirates in the cabin rush to the deck, ready to feast their eyes. What is a woman, baby of the sea? In order to improve their combat power, most of the pirates are male members. They burn, kill, and loot on the sea every day. Happy street economy. At this time, see the other party's pirate flag. Ochako couldn't help showing a hint of evil. Because the peony pirates have become more and more famous in New World recently, information has also come out. Its crew is not only made up entirely of women. Its captain, Shiki, is even more stunning in the ocean. No, there are already rumors in the sea. Shiki, a woman as beautiful as a black pearl. Someone is willing to exchange 100 million berries for her location information, and even 500 million berries for the chance to tie Shiki to the bed. Thinking of this, Ochako laughed loudly. Hulla, absolute son. Lousy is lucky. Little ones, follow Lousy. Good luck tonight. Ochako commanded, blow up their boat to Lousy. Lousy wants to see the beauties playing in the water. Boom, boom, boom. And the peony pirates. Around the hull, countless explosions caused shocking water splashes. The crash made the whole sea restless. All female warriors standing on deck, Shiki included, all frowning slightly. Not because the vocabulary of the Ochako pirates is ugly. That's the way the sea is, and to be honest, it's polite to say hello with dirty words. Rather, the scale of the Ochako pirates is so big that it makes people feel dizzy. Who would have thought? On that dilapidated ship, there were 700 or 800 rough men, densely packed, crowding the entire deck like stinky rats. On the mast, a rope stretched down, hanging like a bunch of candied haws. The whole pirate ship is shaking. Hiss. Too many people. If it's the same number of people, or if the difference in the number of people is not big, Shiki will naturally not worry. Relying on himself and Amazon Lily's female warrior, he will definitely have an advantage. But the opponent is this scale. Its captain is also the great pirate of 180 million berry Ochako. Don't think about it, there is no chance of winning. That's it. Pinching his fingers, Shaki's beautiful eyes trembled slightly, and he could only order unwillingly, adjust the rudder, escape. Yes. The female warriors also realized the seriousness of the matter, and immediately adjusted the sails. And just at this moment, a strong wind blows head-on. The nine-snake Xiaoyao, which was originally preparing to attack, was immediately blown by the strong wind at an incredible speed. Back hundreds of meters. Hurrah! The wind whizzed past. The female warriors of the peony pirates looked flustered and their long hair fluttered. What's going on? It makes people a little unsteady. And after the wind stopped, Shiki was shocked. What happened to this ship? However, she immediately reacted and ordered hastily, take advantage of this good opportunity and run away. Nuko Lime, come out and pull the boat. Because Amazon Lily is on the calm belt, the boats are pulled by snakes. Now the New World Sea area is windy, so naturally they don't need to be tired, so two snakes called Nuko and Lime sleep and rest on the bottom of the boat. And just when the swimming snake wanted to emerge from the bottom of the sea, a faint voice came down from the air. Don't move. Looking up, Shiki immediately saw two gold figures descending slowly. And the one who took the lead had just seen the man on the arrest warrant, Kazan, and his brother Shiki. Hiss. How come? Kazan. Shaki's scalp tingled instantly, and his heart was pounding. In fact, when he saw Kazan on the arrest warrant, Shiki thought he was handsome, curious, or looked at this man with an inexplicable vision. After all, the opponent is so strong. Let Marine be so afraid. If the two of you have nothing to do with each other, and it's none of your business, then you can eat melons easily. But when this man actually arrived on his boat, there is undoubtedly only one emotion left in Shaki's heart: fear. A man worth 740 million Baileys. How can this kind of person be a good stubble? What kind of personality is it? Will it be cruel? It must be cruel. The bounty seems to have explained everything. Wow, not beautiful, he's Kazan. A female warrior has peach blossoms in her eyes and whispers to herself. Shiki, the higher the bounty, the crueler the man. What good is appearance? Shiki knew his power was still too weak. You can't touch a super pirate like Kazan at all. Since the opponent has the ability to fly, he has already arrived at the Xiaoyao snake. There is no other way. We can only wait and see what happens. Shiki took a long breath to calm himself down and ordered to the female warriors, "We don't act rashly," and at this time, Kazan and Shiki also descended onto the deck one after another. There were 2 footsteps, very crisp. When the touch came, Xiaoye instantly knew that the quality of this boat was good. Although at high altitude, he knew that the boat was full of women. But Kazan wasn't a priority either, because the pirate group in front had already fired cannons while catching up. Boom, boom, boom. The shells exploded in the sea. Blowing this ship away with the wind herself is not for you to destroy. You will be bombarded. It's my boat. At the moment, Kazan raised his hand slightly. On the surface of the sea ahead, a gust of wind blew up instantly, and 4 roaring sharks poked their heads out from the bottom of the sea. The waves are crashing loudly. If you look closely, there seems to be a ghostly wind wrapped on the shark's skin. Boom, boom, boom. Sharks are getting taller and bigger. Back and forth, left and right. 4 roaring sea sharks fabricated by sea water acted impressively. Instantly surrounded the Achaku pirates tightly. Seeing this scene, Shiki and the other female warriors instantly showed horror and stood there dumbfounded. Calm belt, where can I see such a sight? Oh, this. Woo! What kind of power is it? Could it be that this is the strength of 700 million men? 32032. He who knows current affairs is a hero. Raisin raised his hand. It was the shocking sea shark that took the lead. As the Empress, Shiki couldn't help but marvel in her heart. Is this the strength of 740 million Palais men? There is no doubt that Shaki's mentality had changed the moment Kazan raised the whale shark. From absolute fear, a sense of security subtly emerged. Now, any fool can see it. This is a warning. And it's the Achaka pirates who warn the enemy. Kazan, is he protecting our peony pirates? Shiki nibbled on his unwrinkled lips. The eyelashes fluttered slightly, and the beautiful eyes opened slightly, looking at the back of that gold. Although Kazan and Shiki are brothers from the back, they both have gold's long hair covering the entire back, but the appearance of the back is similar. However, it feels completely different. Shiki stood with 1 foot on the guardrail, glaring at the front, still cursing, behaving roughly hockey. What about Kazan? Perhaps it was reading all the year round that caused him to move slightly and stand gracefully, showing a gentle and refined temperament. It is the 2 completely different visual senses, but do the exact opposite. The impact is still great. It wasn't Shiki, the irascible person who made the move, but the gentle and refined Kazan. In Shaki's eyes, Kazan suddenly floated up from the Xiao 9 snakes and floated to the surface of the sea without delay, at a height equal to the fence of the 2 ships. In a short time, the whole person was standing in front of the Xiao 9 snake's hull. As he approached, the distance grew farther. But the female warrior of Amazon Lily has gradually increased her sense of security. This man is standing up for us. Yes, he is definitely standing up for himself. Thinking that before Kazan came, the entire pirate group had recognized the situation and fled timidly. And now it's a man fighting back for himself. The hearts of the female warriors were pounding. This feeling is the first time since going to sea. For the first time, being taken care of by a man. On Kazan's side, there are actually not so many ideas. The reason why he raised the whale shark was to protect his boat. The rising whale shark did not fall down because there was treasure on the boat ahead. As long as the pirate has a good attitude, he will obediently offer up the treasure. You can get the forgiveness of brother Kazan. It's been this way all the way. The 2 brothers, Shiki, did the same. Pirates, they can't be killed. If you cannot fight against the enemy, why waste your efforts? Base. And at this time, seeing that the opposing pirate group did not respond, Kazan put his left hand on the first-generation Onitoru at his waist and drew out the knife with his right hand. Rub. As the first-generation ghost was unsheathed, a swimming dragon hovered above the blade, and the cold light shone even brighter under the boost of the wind dragon. Moment. The sea changed drastically, and the 4 sea sharks roared at this moment. Ho ho. Ho ho. First generation Guache. In addition to the ability of non-stick, it can also act as a sensor of fruit ability. In the previous life, Whitebeard was able to gather the shock wave into Tsong Yunxia, and the blade was swung out like a fist. Kazan's first generation ghost Toru can also do it. Beside Garp, the Fong fruit floats out of thin air because the first generation Guiche touched the Fong fruit. Otherwise, how can we snatch the most disastrous fruit in history from Garp? Roar. This is the last warning. Otherwise, treasure is not worth mentioning. Different from the mentality of the Xiao pirates, the pirates on the Ochika pirates were trembling with fear at the moment. Many pirates' legs are already hot and humid, and the deck is full of smell. Maid, who has seen such a big battle? The 4 sea sharks were like ocean hunters, staring at everyone on board. Seawater dripped from every sharp tooth. Like waterfalls of blood, the 4 heads formed an absolute encirclement net with no way out. This picture made many members of the Ochika pirates frightened to pee. Those pirates on the mast. He was so frightened that his arms became weak, like heavy rain pouring into the crowd on the deck. Big brother, what shall we do? Horror, he is Kazan of 740 million Pele. This time we are dead. It's terrible. A pirate looked at the wanted notice, his legs trembling uncontrollably. Achiku was completely dumbfounded. Originally, chasing the Xiao pirates was a good idea, but I never thought that Kazan would be on board. If you do it, isn't it just asking for trouble? Who is Kazan? He is a strong man who only has a bounty and no information about his strength. I don't know the depth. This kind of person is very frightening to others. But to be honest, even if he is surrounded by 4 sea sharks, even if the opponent is Kazan whose bounty is several times higher than his own, Achiku is personally worried, but he is definitely not the kind of person who has no fighting spirit and just wants to run away. Even if the scene is changed, he may also choose to fight with all his might. Pirates have a temper. For his own strength, Achiku is still very confident. Even if the opponent has the magical devil fruit ability, even if the opponent's bounty is as high as 740 million berry. He knew that his bounty was low because he did few things. And the reason why Ochika dare not move now, even fear, it's all because of the whole pirate group. This is what Achiku spent several years, finally gathered more than 700 people, and established it with great pains. The pirate group is the captain's pirates. More than half of the casualties were bitten. For the pirates, this is a traumatic event. He didn't kill himself, but it was no different from killing himself, the captain. Facing such an impenetrable encirclement net, Achiku considered for a long time and finally made a cruel decision. Brothers, there are all of them. Follow me. Don't panic. We are the Ochika pirates. Victory is on our side. The next moment, in the distant Shiki, under the witness of all the female warriors of the Peony pirates, a wonderful scene happened suddenly. I see. A man slashed his sword and immediately stood in the sky. 3 points and 1 line, like a god of war, standing between the 2 pirate groups, not far from the hostile Ochika pirates. All the pirates came to the deck and made worship gestures in unison. Soon, the sound of the same landslide and tsunami came. Brother, we were wrong. Brother, let us go. Brother, please. Big brother, please spare me. The sound waves came layer by layer, and Amazon Lily's female warrior was completely confused. Is this still the group of pirates who are aggressive and bombarded by artillery? Why, in the face of 1 person, you are so cowardly. Seeing this scene, Shaki's heart finally relaxed, and he looked at the man on the sea again. Immediately, Hung Dao retreated thousands of troops. That's all. What's more, he didn't do anything. Shaki returned to his original curiosity and let out a long sigh of relief. The Peony pirates are safe. The sea is vast. Those who know the current affairs are Junjia and Junjia. Achiku understands this deeply. Pirates are not about burning, killing, and looting, but about understanding the world. Since the other party only issued warnings and did not attack, he was not the kind-hearted pirate with a bad temper. Things are negotiable. Everyone is messing around in the sea of New World, looking down and not seeing each other. Peace brings money. Harmony can make money. If you are coerced, if you encounter a desperate situation from which you cannot escape. Pirates, too. It's a thief. But you must also learn to be a man. This is to respect the life given by the sea. God avoid me or not. Even 3 billion pirates are not enough for a single blow. 33,033, beauty, of course, regardless of origin. facing the wave of confession from landslides and tsunamis. Kazan has no intention of continuing to press. But it's just the beginning. If the group of pirates behind have a bad attitude and don't cooperate, well, sorry. No matter how good the attitude is now, it is still a death. Still, let Shiki finish the work. Pat. Ding. With Kazan's famous knife sheathed. In an instant, the 4 sea shark statues were summoned, collapsed instantly, and dived into the bottom of the sea. Rumble. A huge amount of sea water scattered. The impact caused the Ochako pirate ship to sink and sway violently. We are finally safe. Thank you, brother, for your mercy. Thank you, big brother, for your noble hand. The pirates of the Ochako pirates breathed a long sigh of relief. Some pirates remember to eat but not to fight, and even celebrate. Kazan ignored this. He came to the Xiaoyao snake without looking back. Shiki. Kazan's voice fell. Here we come. Shiki rubbed his hands together, understanding. 2 brothers. 2 gold figures exchanged roles. Go back to the deck. For the first time, Kazan took a look at the women on board. This ship is my own, after all. How to tell them this fact? And look around. There are about 25 women on it, all of whom are heroic in appearance and have extraordinary temperament and appearance. Most are the taller warrior types. There are also a few beauties with long legs who look like models and conform to Kazan's modern aesthetics. Pirate world. A lot of beauties. As long as you look at it with an appreciative eye, you can still find unexpected beauty. As a scholar, Kazan has developed the unique vision. Who is beautiful and who is average, he can tell at a glance. He is very tolerant. Beauty, of course, regardless of background. And among these women, the woman in front of her who is biting her white teeth and wearing the most luxurious clothes stands out the most, on the premise that her appearance is already amazing. His body shape, clothing, appearance, and eyebrows all reveal a haki that cannot be hidden. Did Conqueror's haki bring it? A thought came to Kazan's mind. Unlike the one Kazan had before, the Tainyuexu hadn't fully grown yet. Tianyueshue belongs to the best of the ladies. This woman in front of me is more like a born king. That faint temperament is not enough. Strangeness. Who is this man? But seriously, it's still too early in the timeline. Many people in the plot are decades younger. And in front of Shaki, Kazan is both strange and familiar. While Kazan was thinking, the surrounding Amazon lily warriors all looked at Kazan curiously. Hong Dao's aura of repelling thousands of troops immediately has already made many girls worship him. Facing more than 700 people, the Ochako big pirate picture. When the man raised his hand, he was so frightened that he threw up his helmet and armor and almost kowtowed to admit his mistake. So beautiful. So sassy. For Kazan, who had saved her life, the female warrior couldn't help but blushed slightly and whispered, "So beautiful. This man is so beautiful. It's as stunning as the Empress." His name seems to be Kazan, Lord Kazan. After all, Shaki is an empress with extraordinary bearing. For now, Kazan in front of him didn't seem to have any plans to attack him. In order to prevent new accidents from happening, or reduce the chance of accidents, all the people on board have to make an attitude. Shaki is very talented in knowing people and things, and Kazan in front of him, from the fact that he just dealt with the Ochako pirates, can see that he is not an ordinary pirate. For a person with such a personality, the best way is to be so good that he is embarrassed to do it. After thinking it over, Shaki clapped his hands lightly. Soon, a row of female warriors helped carry the tables and chairs and placed fresh fruits on the table. A temporary reception desk has been built. It has to be said that Shaki is the heir to the Empress after all. Even as a pirate sailing hard on the sea, the specifications, etiquette, requirements, and cards of the living conditions on board are quite sufficient. In voyages, the most common fruit is oranges, because oranges are easy to preserve and can also cure sepsis. Be a nautical medicine. And those grapes, bananas, and unnamed fruits that are not easy to preserve and expensive. It is a big drag on sailing, and almost all pirate groups will not always have it. But at this moment, there was a table full of them. "My Lord Empress." Shaki nodded and invited Kazan to sit down. "Empress." This appellation, Kazan asked thoughtfully, Your name, Shaki. Kazan couldn't help but his heart skipped a beat. He never imagined that he would meet the young Shaki here, matching all the female warriors on board and their daughter country costumes. Kazan reconfirmed that the woman in front of her was the Empress of the Amazon Kingdom. In his cognition, the later Shaki is an intelligence expert and a know-it-all. In the early days, he was a person on the rock ship, and later, he was the lord of a daughter country. Can such a woman be simple? This Shaki has great mining potential. 34034. No one in a million, King's qualification. At the same time, Shaki, who is young now, looks a bit different from when he was old. This made Kazan unable to react for a while. But if you think about it, you can understand that Shiki was cute when he was a child. As a result, now the skeleton is surprised, and the ocean is a master. Xia glanced around. Amazon Lily from Combelt? You actually know. Shaki was curious again. The information on the members of the Peony Pirates is no longer a secret, but Amazon Lily is a closed country, and the foundation of the country is concealment. What this country needs most is tranquility. Those who go out to sail will not reveal the source. Seen by Kazan at a glance, he couldn't help being surprised. I have been in my dream too. ? Shaki was surprised. No way. Has he really been to my country? How come I have no impression? The man in front of him was about the same age as himself, and he had never seen it before. Men land on Amazon lilies, which haven't happened in hundreds of years. Shaki is again the heir to the king, knowing that this kind of thing is bigger than the sky. In the misty conversation, the two are like old acquaintances, but also like strangers. During the conversation, both of them couldn't help but be attracted by Shiki, who was shouting arrogantly in the distance. Jiahahaha. No. Shiki's gold figure floats above the deck of the Ochako pirates. He found that the deck was crowded with people, and the stench was suffocating. The living environment is like a kennel. Forget it, brother asked me to do business. Shiki quickly drew Sakura Tenkaku. Point to the crowd below and speak. Jia, you bastards. Okay, don't pray. What a trouble. Hand over all the treasures to my uncle. The voice fell. The pirates on the Ochako pirates are in complete disarray. What? We all sincerely admit our mistakes. Calling you big brother is to respect you. You actually call us cowards. Push the nose on the face. Still here to grab the treasure? Pirates regard treasure as life. What is the purpose of floating on the sea? Of course, it is an endless treasure. This blond man actually asked the brothers to hand over the treasure? What is the difference between the hatred of taking one's wife and killing one's father and enemy? Yeah, might as well go straight to it. But Ochako is the captain of the entire pirate group. Insight is definitely different from others. In the past, my own team robbed others. The brothers on board have never experienced the feeling of being robbed. So very proud. Calling you big brother is enough sincerity. But this time the situation was different. On the sea, against the strange abilities of the Kazan brothers, Ochako knew he had no chance and could not escape. If on the island, two groups of pirates encounter such a thing, definitely have to bump into each other to tell the strength of one from the other. But now it doesn't fit. Pirates must have a principle in doing things. If you snatch something from me, you must be prepared to be bitten off, but now it is on the ocean and the other side is absolutely dominant. You don't have to pay for anything. No doubt. This is not in line with the rules of revenge for pirates. You can't pay the other party at all. You just wanted to get along with him in one breath. Stupid. The other party is definitely not a good stubble. Didn't you see that both knives were drawn out? The tone is flamboyant and provocative. His eyes are full of murderous intent. If you don't hand over the treasure, things will definitely get out of hand. Come here, bring up all the treasures. To Brother Kazan. Just treat it as my Ochaka's meeting gift. Ochako was unwilling, but he still spoke with grace. The sea. You rob me, I rob you. Treasures take turns. Now that Captain Ochako has spoken, the other pirates had nothing to say. Soon 3 huge treasure chests were brought up. Open. The pirates trembled. This big brother. You see? Shiki glanced over. TSK. Only about 30 million berry. Very general. Then in the pained eyes of the Ochiko pirates, in the adoring eyes of Amazon Lily Warrior, tick-tick, 3 treasure chests fell on the deck. Floating came to Kazan. Kazan didn't even glance at the treasure chest. And over there, Shiki has turned his head and is leaving the Ochiko pirates. Suddenly, he thought that it was the first time he met a New World pirate. What if you don't try your hand? I'm curious as to whether the New World pirates are strong or not. Shiki pointed at Achiku with Sakura. Is your name Achiku? How much is the bounty? Forehead? You don't know me, Achiku. No matter what, I am the #1 pirate in the sea area. Don't you want to lose face? You're not a bounty hunter, so what if I tell you? Achiku paused, and there was a hint of arrogance in his mouth. My name is Achiku, the captain of the Achiku pirates, and the bounty is 180 million berry, but I haven't troubled too many marines, so the bounty is a little lower, not as good as you 2 brothers. So, you are strong? Play with me. A smirk formed on the corner of Shiki's mouth. Play with you? Achiku looked confused. What do you mean? Pirates are a group of lunatics who don't get up early. Look down and see you. Now that you have taken the treasure, everyone can get together and leave. What else to play? Shiki didn't pay attention and pointed directly at the 700 pirates on the deck, pointing to the sea on one side, and said, You guys jump into the sea. Lousy wants to compete with your captain. Let me. Pirates, you look at me, and I look at you. Look at the deep sea next to you. Sharks appeared in the sea just now. What if you jump down? Seeing the pirates peering at each other, they were unmoved. Shiki got angry immediately. Boom! Black thunder fell instantly. A wave of Conqueror's haki spread out, sweeping the Ochiko pirates in an instant. Because Kazan said to him, the early Conqueror's haki is a sharp weapon for Qing Xiaobing. Moment. On the Ochiko pirate group, each pirate foamed to the mouth and fell directly. Some pirates squeezed on the fence fell into the sea with a clatter. Clatter. It may be that entering the water made people sober, and the pirates began to howl on the sea. However, pirates, basically, they are all water-based, so they can only be pulled innocently at the bottom of the boat. Black and dense, splashing water, floating on the sea. The scene is very spectacular. Boom. Here. In the Peony Pirates, some female warriors suddenly became dizzy. Ouch. Dao Dao's beautiful figure is stumbling around. Yo-yo. On the deck, weak voices echoed. If there is a gentleman, he will definitely help him every day. As for Empress Shaki, at the moment when Conquerors hit, her eyebrows were slightly widened, and her heart was so shocked that it couldn't be more shocking. Shiki in front of you. It turned out to be the same as myself. He is an emperor who has the aptitude of being a king, who is 1 in a million. 2 of the rules for the heir of the Amazon Lily Empress are beauty and conquerors. Shaki naturally owns conquerors. She could have imagined it all. Kazan. He is the absolute leader between the 2 brothers. Didn't you see that Shiki would give priority to his big brother after snatching the last treasure? Shiki's behavior has said it all. He respects his big brother very much. Shaki collected himself and turned his head slightly to look to the side. I saw Kazan's face was indifferent, as if nothing had happened. This. No way. He is the emperor among the emperors who are unique in a million. 35035. Set sail a new journey. Are you also a Conqueror's haki awakener? Shaki's eyes were full of surprise. Seeing Kazan nodded for confirmation. Completely in shock. The Amazon Lily is very special, but in each generation there will be, and only one Conqueror's awakened will appear. And this person will eventually become the center of national love and become the emperor of a country. Did not expect. The 2 brothers in front of me are actually emperors. With shock. Shaki no longer has the heart to watch Shiki and Ochiko fight. Time passed quickly. Shiki gave Achiku a lesson as it should. No. In the sea, fluctuating with the spray. A rough man's head with a bruised nose and a swollen face popped out. Vomit. Achiku spat out the salty, choking seawater. Looking at the sky full of shock. This Shiki is so strong, so he's big brother. Hiss. Shocked, Achiku didn't dare to think about it any further. With a nervous expression, he took his own remnant. Desperately disappeared from everyone's sight. The deck of the Peony Snake. In the welcome of a group of female warriors looking up to a hero, Shiki returned to the ship with pride. Cut. Vulnerable. Is this the new world pirate? That's all. See, Shiki back. Kazan stood up and dabbed casually on the treasure chest. 3 huge treasure chests mysteriously disappeared in full view. The stolen treasure, no matter how big or small, Kazan will check afterwards. Maybe there is something mysterious and good. In the past, it was Shiki who robbed Wanakuni Liangyue family of a bunch of junk so that he could get first-generation Guiche. If not paying attention then. Under the time difference, first-generation Onitoru has become a plaything in the hands of 5 elders. So face all treasure. Kazan is no slouch. However, his operation. The surrounding female warrior even screamed, "Wow, so amazing." Then Shaki, "It's time to talk about our affairs." After the words fell, the man in front of him stood up. Shaki was stunned by the invisible momentum. Is this his true state? When Kazan boarded the ship, Shaki was dominated by a fearful thought and had no intention of thinking about other things. After Kazan stopped the Achika pirates, Shaki felt saved and felt a sense of security in his heart. And now, the man was blunt about getting down to business. Smiling, Shaki finally discovered that extraordinary momentum. This man is not kind. He came to his own ship with a strong purpose. Shaki, who wanted to understand, couldn't help but tremble in his heart. The sea. Sure enough, there is no good person. What are you going to do? Shaki tried to calm himself. Kazan smiled warmly. We 2 brothers don't have a boat, so... No. This ship is the foundation of our foothold. Hearing the other party mention the boat, Shaki immediately refused without thinking. The sea is vast. How can we do without a boat? Moreover, the peony snake was brought out by Amazon, which contains the shipbuilding technology of the daughter country. If the ship is lost now, everyone in the pirate group will not be able to pass through the calm belt. If you can't go back to the country, everyone will become refugees in the sea. Hearing that the Empress refused, the surrounding female warriors were immediately on edge, and many of them were ready to fight. Kazan signaled to relax and said helplessly, "You misunderstood. Our brothers are going to the Grand Line Paradise, the capital of the 7 waters, to build our own pirate ship, so I want to go with you. And there is no harm in going to the capital of the 7 waters. What do you mean?" But what? Kazan touches up a bit here. His primary purpose is to get gold from Sky Island, and then the capital of 7 waters. Anyway, first trick people to the first half of the Grand Line. For Shaki, Kazan actually paid attention to it in his heart. After all, Shaki was the first character in the pirate camp that he met. Moreover, it is still a ruthless character. Sooner or later, the 2 brothers will have to build their own power. There will be all kinds of people in the future. As strong as Hawkeye, he can't play alone, and in the end he was incorporated by Mr. Buggy. So for Kazan, Shaki's excellent intelligence capabilities. It can be regarded as an important piece of the jigsaw puzzle for one's own power. Of course, Kazan doesn't force it. If you need to force a woman, it can only show that you are not attractive enough. But at least some action is needed for now. You can't help but fight for it, right? In addition, the 2 brothers have been sailing along the way, either practicing swords on a warship or sleeping on a famous sword. To be honest, it is very boring and tasteless, feeling unattended and lacking in love. I saw so many beautiful girls today. All of them are capable of cooking, eye-catching, and serving people. What's wrong with me enjoying it? Shaki, are you not a pirate? Pirates should bear the corresponding consequences when they come out to mess around. Moreover, Kazan's original purpose was really to grab the ship. Now I have given you the option of traveling. I love you enough. If you don't want to, you can't blame the 2 brothers for destroying flowers with their hands. It is worth mentioning that Kazan has long known that sailing in the sea is full of surprises, adventure, and loneliness. But he didn't bring Wanakuni's Tainyuexu with him. It is because Tainyuexu is the eldest lady of the Tianyue family and the heir of the Wanakuni daimyo family. And as for Wanakuni, who owns rare ores such as wine iron ore and sea stone, Kazan will take it sooner or later, and it is just too early now. The deed has already been issued. When the time comes, Tianyue will naturally become a key figure. Your own woman, you can pick her up and be by your side anytime. And here, Shaki heard Kazan say this, and finally understood his purpose. But my Lord Empress, we finally sailed to the new world. There was a trace of unwillingness in the female warrior's tone. Yes, Sailing on the Grand Line is exhausting and long. I often encounter extreme weather. In order to cope, I don't sleep all day and all night. Shiki is also hesitating, trying to calculate in his mind. Judge whether this man has room for negotiation. As the female warrior said, if you go back to the first half of the Grand Line, you have to go back and forth to New World. Such a voyage will take at least a whole year for the peony pirates, and the process is still very difficult. In order to send people to the capital of water, is it worth the price? Shiki still said, may I pay for a new boat for you so that you can? But the voice is not completely fallen. I saw Kazan first generation ghosting through the scabbard, stomping slightly on the deck. The floating imprint is directly applied. In the next second, the entire Xiaoyao snake floated directly. The sound of splashing water fell. The breeze blew in my ears. Why did the ship fly? No, I'm so scared. I'm afraid of heights. Who did it? It's scary. Accompanied by the tender screams of the female warriors. Shiki is full of shock. In a blink of an eye, the Xiaoyao snake number 1 rose from the ground and reached thousands of meters in the sky. The wind blows the sails, heading for a destination. It's worth saying, because Fenglong is the passive fruit of Fengfeng and also the master of all winds. During the voyage, whether encountering tornadoes or other wild winds, Kazan's boat is like an emperor crossing the border, and the wild winds on both sides will bow and give way. Under the blowing of the wind dragon, Kazan's boat is going in a straight line. Slow? Impossible. And will there be extreme weather? It rains. Got a thundercloud? If the wind blows, it will disperse, even if the sun is big. You can also blow a piece of dark clouds over and give me a cloudy day. Sea surface. 2 swimming snakes popped out their heads and stuck out their tongues. Newcomer Cici. What's the matter with the swelling, the boat to be pulled? Limes. Don't make it. We are orphans. 36036. Rocks, Roger, Kazan's team. Grand Line, New World. An island. Boom. Buzz buzz. With a sudden sound of collapse. The roaring waves of the sea stopped abruptly. Edward Newgate, join me. Lousy is going to take you to conquer the world. Ha 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 ha. Rox laughed wildly and sheathed the knife. If Kazan is in, you will be able to discover the extraordinariness of the rock saber. Because this is already a black knife that has been tempered successfully. And in front of Rox, there are signs of battle damage everywhere. In a pothole, the smoke cleared. The Tsong Yunshi, held by Edward Newgate, plunged into the ground. There was thick sweat on his forehead. This later generation is called Edward Newgate, the strongest man in the world. At this time, blood dripped from the corner of his mouth. After all, a person has only one heart. Only by continuously increasing the number of beatings, constantly beating and never stopping beating, will it beat stronger and stronger until one day it stops beating and becomes the legendary of the sea. Characters of the present era. Going crazy in this direction. Rox D. Zebek, the man called the most evil man by Marine, is as strong as the rumors say. But Lousy is not interested in conquering the world. Edward Newgate gritted his teeth. The corner of Rox's mouth outlines a circle. Follow me, you will gradually become interested. Looking into the distance. Rox said, negotiate with me, Rox. There is no room for negotiation. Bah. Hearing this, Newgate turned his head and spit out a mouthful of blood foam on the ground. I can go with you, but I must take my companion with me. Companion? Of course the companion must be strong, Newgate. Rox twitched his lips. You can't take those people away. A few minutes later, Edward Newgate had a trace of loneliness on his face. Back to the island alone. As Rox said, Newgate can't take away the people it used to be. After all the members of the Liard pirates were stunned by conquerors, those weak pirates had already been deeply branded as weak in their hearts and lost the courage to explore further. Now, when they heard the news of Edward Newgate's defeat, they naturally flinched. As strong as Newgate, he can respect them both on the outside and inside, and doesn't even care about the strength of the Liard pirates, and is willing to accompany the weak Captain Shueta. However, when you need them, you can't take them with you. No, it seems that everything is gone. It doesn't matter. Anyway, since I came all the way from the Sphinx, didn't I come here all the time? But what? People are like tides. they will be constantly pushed away by the sea. One day, it will reach the other shore. Soon, two figures stood on the warship. Sail away to the distance. That's it. Rox D. Zebek, the legendary pirate who is ambitious and determined to become the world hegemon, recruited the first crew member, Edward Newgate. The Rox pirates turn on the mode of stirring up the wind and clouds. The first half of the Grand Line, Paradise. The waters near Alabasta. The sea is sparkling and the sun is very good. A voice came from the dilapidated small pirate ship. The loud sound scared the surrounding seabirds to fly to higher places to escape. Oh, Rayleigh, lend me the knife for fun. Yahahaha. Facing the figure in the black shirt, he rushed forward. Silver Rayleigh stood up decisively and immediately tore Gordy Roger's mouth. Bastard, this is my ancestral Griffin. What kind of onion are you? Go away. Roger grinned into a D. I just want to see. Rayleigh threw Roger aside. Didn't you say you want to subvert this world together? After all, it's been 3 months since I went to sea. Why are you still on the small broken boat I stole? And you still beat me with a knife? Don't make up your own mind. Roger. Roger let out a big smile, helped his straw hat, and pointed to the vast sea in front of him. Well, I've decided, then we'll go their next stop. Maybe there's nothing there. Rayleigh rolled his eyes. This is the recently formed Roger Pirates. There are currently only 2 members. But for these 2 people, it only took 3 months. Just use a small broken boat that can't be smaller, and travel through wind and rain to the Grand Line. The sea cannot stop people from exploring. Instead, accommodate them as much as possible and carry them. Only, if you want to gain a foothold in the sea, you must first bear the temper of the sea. Rumble. Ooh, it's over. We've got another storm. Roger tilted his head. Rayleigh, is the boat okay? Rayleigh, what away again, Roger? New world, high altitude. The 3 of them stood on the deck of the Xiaoyao snake. Shiki crossed his arms and looked majestic. Looking at the surprised female warriors in front of me, I kept complaining in my heart, isn't it just high altitude? Is it strange? Look at you have never seen the world, snort. And Kazan rested his right hand on the first generation of Nitsu, staring ahead, not knowing what was going on in his mind. Shaki to his right, but he pinched his fingers behind his back and fell into a deep numbness, because Shaki really never thought about it. My own Xiaoyao snake will be able to sail in the sky one day. Smooth, high speed, magic, incredible. This kind of dream scene has never appeared even in a dream. And the man next to him. Simply, it is so mysterious that it cannot be described in words. Kazan, what else can't be done? The Amazon Lily warrior on the deck finally calmed down at this moment, from taking off suddenly, to gradually adapting, and then to full of consternation. And when you really see the scenery in the sky, just like a child entering the playground, everything that happened before seems to be unimportant. The sound of joy, curiosity, and exclamation. There is an endless stream of voices. Soon, the moonlight shines on the sea. It's night time. Under the bright light, Kazan came to his room. He didn't snatch the right to use the ship, didn't think about occupying the queen's bed, and didn't explain too many things to Shaki. The card just asked her to arrange 2 common rooms. One for myself and one for Shiki. I have to say, the ship used by the Amazon Lily Emperor. It's not huge, but it's well designed. Various details inside the hull reveal exquisite decoration. Plus, this ship has lived with women. There was a fragrance in air. Well, let me see. Among the looted treasures, can you draw some rewards? Kazan waved his palm. 3 treasure chests about 1.6 meters wide and 1.2 meters high appeared and fell on the floor. Then the glittering gold and silver utensils floated up one after another. In an instant, ups and downs filled the room. 37037, brash treasure. Master Kazan is really too strong. Have you mastered armament hockey in a few days? Listening to the noisy girls in his ears, Shiki's scalp tingled. He turned his head and said angrily, "It's so noisy. You stupid women. Can you shut your mouth for Grandpa?" Have to say, there are pros and cons to sailing with a bunch of women. After sailing for a week, Shiki has a deep understanding. Although, these Amazon Lily warriors can cook, wash clothes, sing, and dance. They are very good. Life is so nourishing. But the novelty wears off after a few days. This group of women is so annoying. Brothers used to go to sea. The big brother is reading, and the younger brother is practicing swordsmanship, quietly and attentively. But now, as long as the two brothers appear on the deck, they will be surrounded by pairs of inexplicable eyes. Have they never seen the world? What a bunch of stupid women. However, after talking with the Empress Shiki, Kazan got the hockey practice Heart Sutra from the Daughter Kingdom. Now, Shiki has refined armament hockey through the hockey practice method of Daughter Kingdom. The violent armed color has been tamed into a sheep. In other words, now the two brothers have officially entered the step of quenching the knife. Next, as time goes by, the famous knife can be tempered into a black knife. Rub. Ding ding. With the sound of two knives being sheathed, today's practice of tempering knives is completed. The surrounding female warrior began to speak. Master Shiki, let us see your miraculous fluttering ability again. Master Kazan. The eyes of the female warriors were full of admiration, and there was a hint of pleading in their tone. Shiki said impatiently, "It's so annoying. You, bring me a glass of water." Yes. The female warrior left with full expectation. Soon, as Shiki plunged a finger into the water. Under Shiki's operation, the water mass floated and turned into a small lion in an instant. The lion was lively, rolling back and forth in Shiki's palm, bleeding and roaring. Fluttering controls the object. The smaller the object, the more vivid it is. Look, I am a fluttering person. I can float everything and create anything. Receive the ability. Shiki, have you finished reading? Are you satisfied? The female warrior obviously had more to say, and Lord Kazan. Kazan is also helpless, considering that the warrior of the daughter country comes from a closed country after all, and is full of curiosity about new things. She still follows their wishes. Above the deck, Kazan holds one hand. A green whirlwind appeared on the ground immediately. In the next second, it turned into a wind mess. Twist and turn. In a blink of an eye, it turned into a terrifying and strange creature. This creature made up of storms was crawling on the deck, with only half of its head exposed. It's like waiting for an opportunity. There are sharp horns on its head. Its 4 eyes are shining with faint green light. Its teeth are like knives, arranged in random order, and it bites everything into pieces. It regards the deck as a swimming pool and swims on it, like a shark but not a shark. It seems to be waiting for the prey all the time, and once found, it will pounce and bite. Oh, what's this? Master Kazan's is the coolest. At this moment, female warrior Chi-Chi's eyes lit up. Master Kazan really has something good on him. Seeing this creature, Shiki's eyes also lit up. She is no less curious than the female warrior on board. Brother, what is this? This, Kazan recalled. You can call it evil god Barash. Barash, a ghost. Evil God's Haraksu is the 7th ghost of the Devil May Cry profession in the online game DNF.it, is the awakening skill of the full-time ghost swordsman after Devil May Cry. The attack method is to jump out from the ground and bite the enemy. As a former DNF player, Kazan thinks that the image of Brash fits perfectly with lion fruits, earth coiling, and sea scrolls. After getting the lion fruit, created in this direction, sea scrolls and whale sharks can be regarded as the early stage of creating Buraxiu. Amidst all the exclamations, the matter came to an end. On this day, the Xiao snake has arrived at the first half of the Grand Line. Shiki called Kazan over. Prepare to discuss things after arriving in the capital of 7 Waters. It's almost time for the two to part ways. And Kazan, because the last time he sorted out the treasures of the Achika pirates, he found a treasure engraved with encrypted words like secret words, so he is also interested in talking to Shiki, who has excellent intelligence capabilities. What if it is a huge treasure? 38038, the worst lovesick patient in history. And Kazan came in. It was filled with a peculiar aroma. This is a high-grade spice exclusive to the Empress, a specialty of Geosnake Island, and it smells refreshing. Soon, Shiki arranged for Kazan to sit down. Before Shiki could speak first, Kazan took the lead in asking about the treasure information, but Shiki said that those were encrypted texts, and it would take time to decrypt them and more information support would be needed. No way, just don't be in a hurry. Then, Kazan noticed a map hanging on the wall next to the table. There are several islands drawn on it, and X is drawn somewhere between the islands. Is there a treasure? What is this place? Facing Kazan's question, Shaki explained with worry in his eyes. This is the map of our Amazon lily. Our kingdom needs groundwater to drive small ocean currents to form the climate. In recent years, it has been detected that our groundwater resources are gradually drying up. The marked location is like a gate, which will drain the kinetic energy of ocean currents loose. Our country is going to set up an artificial barrier here. It can make the ocean current form a closed loop, and even if there is no strong groundwater in the future, it can also make the Amazon lily form a stable weather. Otherwise, the Amazon lily will gradually become unsuitable for the people to live in after 100 years. Listen to Shaki's explanation. Kazan is thoughtful. Isn't it the same as Mahjong 3 missing one, missing a vacant seat? Thought it was a treasure. Kazan subconsciously said, it's very simple. Just move an island a bit, isn't it good? Huh. Shaki was surprised. Moving the island. Kazan, you really dare to think about it. In fact, this is a large-scale project of Amazon lily, a century-old plan that will affect the country's fortunes. Not to mention the waste of people and money. It will even require generations of people to work hard and spend hundreds of years. The result is not necessarily able to do it. But for the living environment of future generations, Amazon has bet on the fate of the country. Otherwise, the whole kingdom can only be forced to relocate. Could it be? But if it's you, or Suing should be able to do it. Shaki suddenly thought that Kazan could make the ship fly, and it seemed possible to move an island. Can't help looking excited. Kazan casually Kaido, I can do it. Lion fruit starts. The first step, touch, which is equivalent to stamping. The second step, imprint scans the touched object. If it is rootless, it can float at any time. The third step, if not, the imprint scan will become an invisible big hand, invisible net bag. If the ability user can grab the object, it can turn it into a rootless thing and then float. In One Piece, uprooting a mountain and throwing it out of bounds. Piao Piao ability users also have the grip of floating imprints, and a fulcrum can lift the entire earth, grab an island, and it becomes a possibility. Now that Piao Piao's ability has been developed, the two brothers are still a little bit behind. Hearing this, Shaki was completely shocked and still puzzled. Can you really do it? If it can be done, this is the existence that Amazon lily all people will be grateful for. If this thing is done, Kazan will be the savior of the daughter country. Unlike Shaki's excitement, Kazan doesn't seem to want to continue. Are you looking for me? Shaki is going to take it slow and think long-term. But I already have a plan to make friends with Kazan in my heart. Shaki raised the current question. Afterwards, will you keep your promise? It means after the capital of 7 waters. Let you go? Of course, the two of us brothers just don't want to bother to find another boat. Since we won't hurt you now, we won't in the future. If there's nothing wrong, I'll leave first. After speaking, Kazan was not interested either. Can you tell me about your ship? Kazan questioned. Are you interested in boats? Shaki didn't know why he asked this. Suddenly didn't want Kazan to go. After thinking about it, Kazan simply said, I plan to go to Sky Island to carry my own gold, and then go to the capital of water to build a pirate ship. As for the ship, let's see the craftsman's design. Of course, the ship will be used for a while. I will move a huge island later, and then build a huge kingdom driven by wind on it. A huge kingdom that can sail the whole world. With the fruit of the wind, the possibility of the island becoming a ship is established. Boats are fine. Why not floating Sky Island? At that time, it will not only be the pirate group, but scattered all over the floating island. City-states, small branches, and palaces will be built on it, gradually building a huge kingdom. A huge air empire. What a great ambition. That's right. After all, he has the wealth of an emperor. Hearing this, Shaki couldn't help but secretly thought. After all, Shaki is also the lord of the empire. In order to improve the national fortune of Amazon lily, she chose to go sailing. She also had ideas and prospects for her own kingdom. But she never thought that the kingdom would actually exist in the sky. That's high ambition. Shaki is here at the moment. I actually had a strong sense of the picture for the huge kingdom that Kazan said. A huge island in the sky with people on it, able to fly to any place in the world to take root. There are city-states, streets, palaces, can't help but envy. Even adore. Such a grand plan is worthy of the emperor who is loved by the people. The emperor of a country should be like this. A simple shipbuilding plan by Kazan sent Shaki into a deep shock. Even her personality was completely conquered, and her heart was beating chaotically. Seeing that Shiki was stunned, he didn't intend to talk. Kazan is leaving again. The matter has been done, and he doesn't want to stay here to waste time. I'm leaving if there's nothing to do. But, looking at Kazan with an impatient face, 10,000 thoughts popped up in Shaki's mind. Why is this man such an asshole? Just piqued my interest. He actually proposed to leave again. He didn't even want to stay for a moment for himself. Am I really that bad? And the moment when these thoughts arise, Shaki's heart suddenly started pounding. The chaotic rhythm is like a snakeskin drum being hammered by 100 people. Suddenly dense, sudden restlessness. One by one, pink heart-shaped bubbles, like sticking to the skin of the heart, kept popping out from the atrium in thousands. My heart is like 10,000 ants crawling. Itchy. Very numb. Also at this moment, Shaki's expression was terrified, and his expression was completely flustered. This is lovesickness? Wait, I actually have a terminal illness in daughter country. Lovesickness. This terminal illness actually came to my heart at this moment. Amazon Lily has recorded that lovesickness is a unique disease in the daughter country, and it will not happen in general, but once you get lovesickness, if you can't solve it, you will only die in the end. Lovesickness can be mild or severe, and the severity of the disease depends entirely on the potential of the conqueror's haki of the lovesick object. The higher the conqueror's potential of the other party, the more severe the initial symptoms. In the worst case, lovesickness patients will die within the same day, as soon as they get sick. Just because of Kazan? Am I suffering from lovesickness? We'll die for him in the future. Realizing this, Shaki's heartbeat was completely frantic. She looked at Kazan, and Shindu began to change, gradually developing towards an inexplicable situation, and the next moment she felt a sharp pain in her heart. What happened? It happened so fast. Still so fierce? His conqueror's haki potential turned out to be. Who the hell is he? Whoa. Shiki groaned softly, and was about to fall down in pain. Cover your heart. Relying on the table to barely stand firm, the soul felt a heavy blow. What's wrong with you? Looking at the uncomfortable Shiki, Kazan couldn't bear to ask. I'm fine, you don't have to worry about me. Go away. Shaki's heart was pierced like a knife, and he said loudly with restraint, You have a big temper. Never mind. Kazan left here inexplicably. At night, the air is clean. Under the moon sky, the entire Xiaoyao snake was in complete chaos. Footsteps, surprise, worry, filled with the entire pirate group. Because Shiki, the Empress of Amazon Lily, is critically ill. Ship doctor, Lord Kazan, help me. Please, come help me. After a burst of nervous knocking on the door, Kazan also looked confused when he saw that it was the ship's doctor. The ship doctor was so nervous that he knelt down at this moment. With her explanation, Zan finally understood. It turned out that Shiki suffered from lovesickness in the daughter country, and it's so serious that it's about to die. According to past life memories, Boa Hancock, as the pirate queen, also suffered from lovesickness after being shocked by Luffy with haki, and it seems that she still doesn't think about food or tea. And Shiki, it seems to be so serious that he will die of illness tonight. Fuck, what's the situation? How can there be such a serious lovesickness in the world? Peony snake. On the deck, a brand new red carpet has been laid at this moment, and Kazan comes out of the cabin. On both sides of the red carpet, there were 2 rows of female warriors kneeling neatly. Among them, the senior ship doctor came to the dazed Kazan and said with a hint of neighing in his tone, Master Kazan, my Lord Empress, she is sick. She called your name in her dream. On behalf of all the people of the Amazon Lily, I ask Lord Kazan to help the Empress. We Amazon Lily cannot live without the Empress. Huh. The sound of pleading reached Kazan's ears, and the scene of the crowd sobbing made people feel distressed. Although human life is at stake, what does it matter to me? Do you want to save her by calling my name? I don't have the strength to heal, you know. You are the ship's doctor. As the ship doctor continued to explain, Kazan got a piece of good news. My Conqueror's haki potential has soared to ultimate. As expected of a system, the entry potential is so high. Can't help but let Kazan have more expectations for the future. Kazan, then tell me, how can I save her? The Empress is so heartbroken that she is in a coma, and she is about to die, so I can only ask Kazan to have sex with her tonight. The ship doctor was already crying and explained. Kazan. 39039 Sky Island Massive Gold. New entry. It's finally here. The one in front of you is Gaia Island. After 1.5 months, the Xiaoyao snake finally arrived at the paradise, Gaia Island. Gaia Island is located in the waters near Alabasta Point 400 years ago. Half of Gaia Island was washed up into the sky by the nearby ocean currents, and that area became part of the entire Sky Island. Sky Island is not marked on any maps, nor does it have a magnetic pointer to guide it. To find Sky Island, Gaia Island is the only coordinate. Although the Voyage of the Paradise is more about using the magnetic pointer to walk on several routes. But permanent pointers are also widely used, just not suitable for pirates. Also said about the Peony Pirates. It was an amazing adventure. The sailboat that can fly in the air can go through their half-year voyage in just over a month. The whole process is smooth, fast, safe, and funny. This kind of sailing experience is undoubtedly a beautiful enjoyment. Refreshed the 3 views of Amazon Lily's female warrior. The sailing conditions are equivalent to replacing a coal car with a high-speed rail. At this time, the 2 brothers, together with Shiki, stood at the bow of the boat, with the sea breeze blowing in their faces, overlooking the islands in the distance. Like the teeth of a skeleton. Kazan, does Sky Island really exist? Shiki snuggled to the side and asked curiously, It's incredible. Today's Shiki, lovesickness has been cured by Kazan, and at the same time he has been tidied up. Kazan said, Yes, we can see Sky Island 10,000 meters up. Knowledgeable man. Shiki grew appreciative. Shiki, you come here. Here we come, brother. Soon Sky Island, above the clouds. Standing in front of the golden clock, Kazan, Shiki, and Shiki all had surprise on their faces. The scenery in front of me is really good. Stand tall, see far, feel refreshed. Below them, the female warriors began to move, and began to collect the gold left by history. And Kazan went under the golden bell and put his hand on the text of history. Call out. Flutter ability activates. The main text of history slowly floated up and then was put down. The historical text can float normally. Why can't the black text? With doubts, Kazan chose not to take the historical text away. Nor did he take the golden bell away. In the eyes of scholars, gold is gold and cultural relics are cultural relics. Only when cultural relics are placed in their proper place can they show their value. Boom. Clang, clang, clang. Clang, clang, clang. Kazan didn't have any doubts. He rang the golden bell directly. He wanted to hear the voice of history. The dull and melodious sound of the bell vibrates in the air. The echo waves spread layer by layer and lasted for a long time. Residents of Sky Island and Gaia Island couldn't help but look up at this moment, their eyes full of shock. The golden bell really exists. It turns out that the golden bell in Legendary is in the sky. The ancestors did not lie. This is the sound of gold. Many people on Gaia Island have already burst into tears. Looking up, tears are rushing down. On the streets of Gaia Island, Roger and Rayleigh, who were caught in a storm, drifted to Gaia Island and were bothering how to find a new boat. At this moment, they couldn't help but look up. Rayleigh, Sky Island really exists. Right in the sky. We're going to go up someday, right? It should be Roger. At this time, the golden bell stopped. The voice of the system also suddenly sounded in Kazan's mind. Dang. It is detected that the host has contacted the historical relic that knocked on the local world, and the experience value is plus 200,000. Reward a new entry, treasure hunting radar. Reward talent entry. Listen to everything. Treasure hunting radar. The radar automatically scans everything within a perfect circle with a radius of 500 meters around the host. If there are precious treasures, the host will be notified by the system. The treasures found will be fed back to the host with certain amount of fortune according to their value. Is there a reward for ringing the golden bell? It seems that we will do more things related to history in the future. Treasure radar. A spherical radius of 500 meters? Seeing this award, Kazan was not disappointed, because the detection range of 1,000 meters is already very large. And what really surprised Kazan was, finally got a way to get fortune value. It used to be based on luck, but now you can get it on your own initiative. The difference is huge. As for listening to everything, it seems that Roger has such a gift and can hear the dialogue of the Sea Kings. This ability will be tested later. Immediately, Kazan and others went down to the ground of Shandora. I saw that the female warriors worked together and walked out of the ruins one after another, with pieces of gold on their hands and shoulders, and the ground was already piled up like a hill. Today's era. Enel hadn't even been born yet, nor had he built his golden ship motto. Residents of Sky Island don't understand the value of gold, and almost no one moves all the gold. Get rich, brother. How much is this worth? It was the first time seeing so much gold. Shiki was a little stunned. Walking to the front, I couldn't help picking it up and looking at it carefully. Soon, he found a shiny golden helmet among the gold piles. Putting the helmet on his head, Shiki said proudly, "Brother, glittering gold. Look at my rudder helmet. This king's helmet. I want it." Kazan, how the hell would you choose? This rudder helmet is more fierce than a green hat. Kazan, Shiki, this is not fun. Isn't it pretty? Kazan directly pulled out the first-generation Onitsu and split the rudder helmet in half with a single blow. Shiki scratched his head, not knowing why. Shaki was even more stunned, because these are far more golden than the Amazon Lily Empire all year round. No, even more than 10 years of national income. Amazon Lily also has foreign trade, but it is done very covertly so that outsiders are not aware of its identity. A commercial system is also formed internally. This amount of gold is really amazing. Hiss. Boom. Suddenly, accompanied by a rumbling sound, an ice-blue Sky Island python suddenly appeared in front of everyone. It had 2 beards on its head and white hair on its abdomen. The snake's head was as big as a house and 180 meters long. Hiss. Asshole human, get out of Shandora? Ah. The appearance of the big snake on Sky Island frightened the warrior of Amazon Lily. Amazon is also considered the country of snakes, but I have never seen such a big one. Is this world really so magical? Isn't this the Sky Island Orochi? At this moment, Kazan could actually hear its voice. Immediately, a wave of conquerors rushed out, directly scaring the Sky Island serpent. Then Kazan tried and said, "Climb over. Otherwise, I'll kill you." The Sky Island snake was stunned. What did I hear? Look at that look, the aura. It is really possible to kill me. This human is strong. Hiss. Human, are you talking to me? Come here. One last warning. Don't kill me, I'll come. No way, the Sky Island giant snake, coerced by Kazan's strength, swam over. And Kazan was overjoyed. He didn't expect listening to the voice of all things to be so useful. In the eyes of the crowd, Kazan directly ordered the Sky Island snake to open its mouth and stick out its tongue as a step, and then sent a team of female warriors to drill into the snake's belly to find the treasure. But there is a lot of gold eaten by this 300-year-old snake. Kazan naturally won't let it go. Shiki was surprised. "Brother, when can you order a snake? It's a snake." Shaki admired. "What a magical man, the snake of the Amazon Lily. He will also be conquered by him."